Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with international advocate for women against abuse and domestic violence, Christine Malek. She is a coach, speaker, international advocate for women against abuse and domestic violence, women's confidence coach, author, and podcast guest pro and academy founder based in Knoxville, Tennessee. Her unique approach brings out the strength and the light that shines in each woman, especially those that have survived abuse. We get into quite a bit. Enjoy this interview.
Thanks for taking a minute after my show today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to dive right in here, and if you're good,
I am always ready.
I can tell that. I can usually pick that up pretty quick.
All right, good.
So, my main profession is jazz, so they've taught me well about improv. You just dive right in and make it the best you can.
Well, it was either be a podcast guest or a comedian, so I guess I combined the two.
I like it. I like it. So the question I have for you is, the last 2 years on planet Earth has been quite tumultuous with COVID. How did you survive it, and how did it subsequently change not only the way that you live your life, but the way that you pursue your business?
Honestly, it did not affect me. Not like everyone else. I actually did have COVID back in September of 2020. It put me out for about 3 months, but it put me on a different path in today's world. The last 2 years, we all work out of the house mostly. For me and my business, it really hasn't affected it.
Let me get kind of to the crux of what you do for a living, and this is what I want to do. I'm going to take you to a career day in front of a bunch of third graders, and one of them looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
I coach women, third graders. Okay. Been a long time since my kids have been that young, third graders. I help. That's a tough one. Third grade. Been a long time since I've been in third grade.
Yep.
I help mommies become better mommies, especially where daddies are concerned.
Okay, so let's up the ante just a little bit on that one and explain that to a 50-year-old guy on the phone right now. So my business is to coach in a particular way women of abuse. That is my forte. That is my path. There's a spiritualness behind it. But women of abuse are so much different than the average woman out there. And I help them be able to realize that they're not completely healed as much as we think we are. We're not. And we do have repeating patterns in relationships until we fix it. And we can't break the cycle until we teach our children. So let me ask you this. You're obviously in a profession that gives a lot.
Yes.
Let's go back to when you were in the third grade. What did you envision for your life? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I don't know if it was third grade. My very first idea of what I thought I wanted to be was a child psychologist.
With the path that you've chosen and with the way your life is now, are you happy with how it's worked out?
Oh, I'm ecstatic, Joseph.
Good.
I get that asked a lot if I have any regrets of being in an abusive relationship, and I would honestly answer, "Oh, hell no." Do I wish it upon any other woman? No. Would I be here today if I didn't go through this? No. And I love where I'm at today. I love what I do. I love helping people. I love what it has taught me, how much. It's kind of like if somebody goes through AA or NA, and I've been there too. First time I went through AA, I was like, why are we not teaching some of these practices and philosophies to our children? Because they are life lessons, not just for alcoholics. And that's what I learned through going through all the abuse that I went through all my life, not just a marriage, but there's plenty of childhood
traumas and abuses that I went through. And I learned some very valuable lessons that now I can share and bestow upon anyone who will listen.
The one thing that helps us in life are those that we look up to, role models, heroes. Who's that been for you?
Me. I didn't really have anyone. So I became that person so that I could help other women look up to somebody. And I don't want that to sound selfish either.
No, I get it. I 100%.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. If you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now, is there someone you would love to meet?
Yes, but she's not alive.
Okay. It can be anyone alive or not. Okay.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
You know, when I went to D.C., I walked through, I can't remember, it's been so long ago. This was back in 2000. I walked through an exhibit that, I can't remember what it was. It was up by the mall, and there was all these quotes, and there was all of these things that revolved around Eleanor, and I had no idea how mighty she was. I mean, I knew that she was a very serious person and did some really good things, but the magnitude was really exemplified through that exhibit. It was nice.
Yes. So you understand why? Yes.
Yeah, 100% do.
She's the epitome of my acronym, which is SASSY, strong, assertive, smart, sexy, and independent. She was it. Rosie the Riveter type woman, definitely spoke her mind, was not afraid to speak it. Yeah, she would be my role model. She is my role model.
You know, the other thing that helps us grow quite a bit is art. You know, in the realm of art and literature, was there an album or a book or art that you really relied on growing up that gave you comfort that you still kind of revert to or go back to now?
My thing when I was growing up was I loved to read. I would read everything from the Grimm fairy tales to Dr. Seuss, all those books. Shel Silverstein was a very big influence on me. When I had children and when they had children, The Giving Tree was the book that I gave first. And I passed it down to my eldest. My eldest passed it to his sister. And when my youngest, she will then pass it to him. That was a big influence for me. Those types of books, the Aesop's Fables, like I said, the Dr. Seuss. The Disney ones did not cut it for me. I hate those Disney movies.
So every day you wake up, you have this vision of what you want to do for the day. What is it that motivates you to do that? And subsequently, at the end of the day, how do you quantify a good day?
What motivates me is that woman that I talk to that is still being abused, that is still having to go through it, that is afraid and scared and doesn't know her worth and blames herself and hates herself for everything that she goes through. That's what keeps me going every single day. When I do these podcasts, if I can help one woman, if I can coach one woman, at the end of the day, I'm a happy camper.
So what has been one of the best fan letters responses that you've gotten from the work that you've done? Something that stands out?
It's that heartfelt thank you. That's all I need to hear. That thank you.
Yeah. You know, you had just said too that, you know, when you look at your life now, you're happy with where you're at. You don't look back and have regret, and, you know, things happen for a reason. I think that's the big thing that's very key about anything that we all go through in life with trauma and abuse. And I'm curious with where you've gone through, with the trauma and pain you've gone through, do you ever get over it? Does your brain ever heal to a point where you don't have to have reoccurring therapy or reassurance? How do you think that works?
That's funny that you asked that. I was just talking to somebody, another woman who had endured abuse. We didn't even start the conversation that way. She's not even in my field. She's actually an attorney. We were having a conversation, and she asked me a very similar question. I have been out of the abusive situation for about 4 years, and it wasn't until I acknowledged my last trigger, which was about 2-3 months ago, and that was seeing a vehicle exactly like the one my ex drives. I don't know. And it wasn't until I actually acknowledged it and said, that's a trigger. I need to work on that. And it's an inner working. It's being able to tell my friends and my fellow coaches, hey, could you help me deal with this trigger? It's not a major one, but it was one of the last ones that I had to deal with. It's an ongoing process. Ongoing. It's a matter of how much does that woman want to heal from those triggers. After she recognizes it's a trigger, and that's because it's all psychological, because we don't realize when it's happening that it's happening.
Let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into your 20-year-old version, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained, the roads you've gone down. What would you tell your young version?
Girl, it is going to get worse before it gets better, but it does get better. Keep going. Keep going. Reach out, ask for help, but keep going. You're on a path. You're on a mission. Go. Do it.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your clients, but ultimately you're in control. You live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm the woman that's going to change the world.
Awesome.
I am going to share, and I do on a daily basis, what love, peace, and joy truly is in a life.
Wonderful. Let's get to the good business here. If anyone wants to know more about you, your services, anything revolving around your world, where's the best place for them to go?
SassyCoach.com. There's a link right there, free consultation I do. I'm on Facebook as Sassy Coach Christine, Instagram, same thing. However anybody needs to find me, I'm there. Just Google Sassy Coach or Sassy Christine or Christine you'll find me. You will definitely find me.
Wonderful. This has been great. Christine, thank you for opening up and giving me your story. I'm looking forward to getting it out there to the people, and good luck with everything. Have a great holiday into 2023.
Thank you, Joseph. Yourself, too.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, and music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.